Hi, in this video I'll help you get to know your car a little better. At the end of this video I've put together a straightforward infographic that summarizes all the key points. Like, subscribe and comment below. It really helps.
Ah, the dreaded check engine light. It has a special talent for turning a perfectly good day into a really stressful one, especially when it throws out a cryptic code like U1140. But hey, don't sweat it. In the next few minutes, we're going to break down exactly what that code means and give you a clear path to getting it fixed. So if you're seeing the U1140 error code on your Dodge, you have absolutely come to the right place. We're about to take all that confusion and turn it into clarity and map out a step-by-step solution for you. Here's our game plan. First, we're going to crack the code itself. What is it really saying? Then we'll get to know the part at the center of this whole thing. After that, we'll dive deep into the 4 most common reasons this code pops up, and more importantly, how to fix them. And we'll wrap it all up with a clear action plan, so you know exactly what to do next. Okay, let's kick things off with section 1, decoding the mystery. Because before we can fix anything, right, we have to understand what our car is actually trying to tell us. So what on earth does U1140 actually mean? Well, the official definition is lost communication with active exhaust valve 2. The key phrase there is lost communication. This is a huge clue because it tells us the problem might not be a broken part, but more like a breakdown in the conversation between your car's different systems. Think of it like this. Your car's main computer, which is called the Powertrain Control Module, or PCM, is basically the brain of the operation. It sent out a message, kind of like a text, to a specific part of your exhaust system, and it never got a reply. It's that radio silence that triggers the U1140 code. Now, let's zoom in on the part at the center of this whole communication breakdown, the active exhaust valve. What is this thing, and what's its job in your car anyway? Its main job is actually pretty simple. It manages sound. See, the active exhaust system has these little valves that can open and close to control how loud the exhaust is. This lets the car be nice and quiet at low speeds to meet noise regulations, but still gives you that awesome, satisfying roar when you step on it. And the system itself? It really just boils down to 2 things. You've got these mechanical butterfly valves. Just picture a little flap inside the exhaust pipe that can pivot open or closed. And then you have the smart actuator. That's the electric motor that gets the commands from the brain and physically moves those flaps. Our communication error is happening somewhere between this actuator and the car's main computer. Okay, this is the main event. We know what the code means, we know what part we're dealing with. So now, let's get into the 4 most common reasons why that communication has failed and what you can do about each one. We're basically hunting for one of 4 specific culprits here. And if we check them out systematically, one by one, we can figure out the real problem without just guessing. This table here lays out our whole diagnostic path, so let's walk through it. First up, the B+ supply. That's just the main power wire going to the actuator. If that wire is broken or shorted out, the actuator gets 0 power, so it can't talk back. The fix? You gotta inspect that wire for any damage. Second, we've got the ground wire. You know, every electrical part needs a good ground to complete the circuit. If that wire is frayed or all corroded, same problem, no communication. Third is something called the LIN bus. This is the dedicated data line, the wire that actually carries the messages. So if the power and the ground are both fine, this is your next suspect. If it's damaged, and messages just can't get through. And finally, if all the wiring checks out, power, ground, and data, then the problem is likely one of the parts at either end of the line. Either the actuator itself has gone bad, or, much more rarely, the main powertrain control module is the issue. So after all that diagnostic info, what do you actually do now? Well, this final section pulls it all together into a really clear, straightforward action plan. So here's what you do, step by step. 1. Double check that the code is definitely U1140. 2, and this is the big one, start with the wiring. It is the most common cause, and it's usually the cheapest to fix. 3, get under the car and give those wires a good visual inspection. You're looking for anything obvious: frayed spots, broken connections, corrosion. Remember, these wires live in a really tough environment, so getting damaged by road debris or moisture is super common. 4, if the wiring looks absolutely perfect, then you can start to think about replacing the actuator or the PCM. And 5, which is always a great option, if you're not comfortable doing this yourself, there is absolutely no shame in calling a mechanic you trust. This quote really sums it all up perfectly. The goal here isn't just about clearing a code. It's about empowering you with the knowledge to figure out what's wrong and make a smart decision, so you can get your car back on the road and running the way it should. So there you have it. That code isn't some big, scary mystery anymore. It's a clear signal. pointing to a specific system with just a handful of likely causes. You have the knowledge now, and you have a plan. The only question left is, what's your next move?